All right, welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and continue on here with building our theme project, okay? So what we just did beforehand is we created our theme project, we changed the HTML, added some styling through our SCSS partials as we talked about in the second video. We added some JavaScript and did some configuration as well, okay? So for these last couple of sections here, we're gonna talk about some of the additional options that you have in your theme development. For this particular video, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at what are called themelets, okay? So let's go ahead and dive right into themelets, all right? If you are not familiar with themelets, these were actually introduced in 7.0, and these are really, it's a really cool feature that we can use with the NPM registry. Basically, themelets are essentially small reusable pieces of code that we can use outside of any particular theme, okay? So perhaps your business, your requirements would be that you actually have multiple themes. Perhaps there's a number of sites that you are using Liferay for, whether that be internal, external, whatever that might look like. You might need a different look and feel for your different sites, okay? But in a lot of those cases, there are a number of different threads that are common throughout the themes for those different use cases. And that's sort of where themelets come in, okay? Themelets allow us the ability to create basically code snippets first. It could be CSS, it could be JavaScript, it could be FreeMarker. And what we can do is we can actually include the different themelets in our different themes. Okay, so what we're gonna do in this section is we're gonna go ahead and walk through building a theme together. So in the case of Livingston, if they needed, for example, a stronger indicator for drag and drop for our site administrators, sometimes it could be perhaps unclear where the widgets go on any given page. So perhaps we can go ahead and make a themelet to accomplish that task for us, all right? And then we'll also look at a sort of optional themelet we can use, okay? There's not gonna be any sort of major use case for it. It's gonna be more like a fun visual we can add when we open the menu on our site where we have the Livingston Fjord theme included, okay? So we can actually build themelets using the same generator that we've used for our themes, all right? We can just simply run the yo liferay themelet command to generate our themelets. So in order to add our themelets to our themes, they need to be visible to our themes through the NPM registry. Okay, we can either use npm link or npm install-g commands to install them globally. So we'll look at this as well. We'll take a look at what kinds of things you might want to do in development, okay? Now, whenever we're doing anything globally, just like we saw before when we were downloading the dependencies, if you are on a Unix-based system, you will probably need to use sudo in order to add or to use your admin credentials. And if you're in Windows, you may need to do it through an admin console. Okay? All right, so what we'll do is we'll build a theme. We're gonna go ahead and make sure that it is globally accessible to our theme, and then we'll go ahead and install it and deploy and take a look at what that looks like. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and dive right into generating a new themelet. Okay, so as you can see here on this slide, what we're gonna do is we're going to generate the new themelet. We're going to make it available, add the CSS. So we're gonna do CSS themelets, and then we're gonna go ahead and deploy it. Okay, so again, we're starting with the what we call the drag indicator themelet, and then we'll look at the optional sort of fun menu exercise as well. All right. Okay, so as you can see here, I still have Liferay up here with our current progress for our theme. All right, I have my Fjord theme here. I'm in the Fjord theme home folder, and I have my exercises available here as well. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our terminal. Okay, or again, if you're on Windows, this will be command line for you. All right, and I have an option here open from the previous set of videos for the Livingston Fjord theme. So this is where we were running Gulp Deploy, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and navigate out of this into the Liferay folder that we created either in the user home or in the C drive, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just simply navigate out of here. Okay, I just need to go one directory up and I'm back in Liferay, okay? All right, so here we're gonna go ahead and use that command that I mentioned to create a new themelet. I'm going to run yo liferay-theme : themelet. Okay, it'll be nice and easy. And this is going to give us a similar setup wizard that we had for the theme. Okay, see the little yeoman guy, and we can go ahead and name this the widget drag indicator. Okay, sounds kind of cool. All right, go ahead and hit enter. And we have the ID, again, auto-generated for us. If you want to change the ID, you can feel free to do that here. But for our purposes, we can just go ahead and hit enter. All right, we can do 7.1 since that's the version we're working with. And boom, there you go. You have a themelet created. Okay, nice and easy, right? Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to just make sure that this is available globally. Okay, so for our case, for development purposes, npm link allows us to do just that. We can go ahead and use npm link to make it globally available. And again, if you're on a Unix-based system, you'll probably need to run sudo to do this, and you will need admin access on Windows as well. All right, I just ran a clean command in here just to give me sort of a free terminal window here, so you can feel free to do that as well. Okay. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to navigate to our new themelet. Okay, so cd, and then we called it widget drag indicator themelet. You'll see that here. Okay. Go ahead and navigate there. And this is where we can run npm link. Okay, so go ahead and type in either npm link, sudo npm link, whatever you need to do to make this happen as an admin. Okay. Put in my password here. Okay. All right. And so now my themelet is available to my theme. As we'll see later, we'll use some gulp commands to make that happen. Okay. But until then, what we're going to do is we are going to make sure to add our new CSS for this particular themelet. Okay. So let's go ahead and come back here. Okay. If you're either in your theme source or in the theme folder, go back up to your Liferay folder. So I'm just going to go back up one directory. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and see the widget drag indicator themelet. So I'm going to go and open that up. All right, I'm going to open up source. And I'm going to open up CSS where I can see my custom.scss here. Okay. So I mentioned that this could be, themelets can be code snippets for CSS. They could be code snippets for JavaScript, FreeMarker. No matter what you're doing, the files are going to be pretty much the same. All right, so for example, if I wanted to have CSS, I have custom.scss. If I wanted to have JavaScript, I can have a main.js here, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So let's go ahead and open this up in our editor. And I'm going to go ahead and type LFR, okay, for a snippet. Come all the way down here to the 11th snippet here. Okay, so it will be called the widget drag themelet snippet. Okay. All right, we're just using a snippet here to make this nice and easy. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple here. We're taking some of the classes for the drop zone, where the portlets go, where the widgets go, and we're providing some styling to make it a little bit more visual when site administrators are adding widgets to the page. Okay. All right, so that's nice and easy. We have our custom SCSS added here. Make sure to save that file. Okay. And now we want to go ahead and open up our terminal again. Okay. Once we have CSS in our themelet, basically once it's ready to go, we need to go ahead and sort of plug it into our theme. Okay. So go ahead and navigate back to the theme. Okay, so I'm just going to do cd ... to go back up, and then go to the Livingston Fjord theme. All right, and we're going to use a gulp command called Gulp Extend. All right, now Gulp Extend allows us to either change the base theme, so we talked about base themes earlier on, or add a themelet. Okay, if I wanted to change the base theme from unstyled to styled, or perhaps I wanted to build a theme based on a theme that I've already created, I can use Gulp Extend to do that. Or like I said, I can just simply use Gulp Extend to get themelets and sort of plug them into my theme. So I'm going to do Gulp Extend here. All right. you'll see those two options, so you can verify that I'm not lying to you. Okay, go ahead and select Themelet. All right, and you have two options. You can either search globally installed NPM modules, that's basically what we're doing for development purposes, or you can actually search the NPM registry. So it's good to know, or important to note, that you can register your themelets on the NPM registry, allowing other developers to take a look at what you've developed as well. So it's kind of a cool little option. But for our purposes, we're going to go ahead and select the first option, search globally installed NPM modules. Okay. You'll see a large O next to the themelet that we created. Go ahead and type space to make sure it's selected. So you should see that it's filled out. It might look a little bit different on Windows, okay? But you can go ahead and make sure to hit space there, and then we can go ahead and hit enter. And what this will do is it will both select and add our themelet to our theme. Let's go ahead and run a Gulp deploy here so we can take a look. Okay, so we're going to run Gulp deploy, and we're going to go ahead and go back to our Liferay instance on the main site and move some widgets around so we can see this working for us. Okay. All right, so I'm going to open this back up. Make sure I refresh the page. Okay, give it a second to reload. All right. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to close the menu here just to make it a little bit easier. As you can see, I can drag this around and there will be a little border around where I can place the widgets, just making it that much easier for those responsible for setting up the pages to be able to see where things go, okay? And if I configure the page and I change the layout of the page, I will be able to see the different columns and rows using this themelet, okay? And now that I've done this once with this particular themelet, I can do it with all of my other themes, meaning I can take this themelet and I can plug it into any other theme that I can create. Okay, it's not dependent on any one theme. So it's a pretty cool option that allows you more modularity, more flexibility with different styling components or elements. Okay. So what we're going to do next, if you guys want to do this with me, feel free to just sit and watch. Okay, you can listen to my wonderful voice and you can be relaxed, or you can do this with me. Okay. We're going to go ahead and create the second themelet here. That again, it's just mostly a fun option for giving us sort of a menu animation. Okay, so we can do that the same way we did the first one, nice and easy. Let's go ahead and navigate outside of the Fjord theme, the Livingston Fjord theme. Okay, so back up to the Liferay folder. All right, and we're going to go through the same process and basically just add some different CSS. Okay, and then we'll take a look at that, what that looks like by deploying it. It's going to be a pretty cool little option. Okay, so go ahead and run yo Liferay themelet. No, just kidding. Yo Liferay theme : themelet. Okay. Saying yo so many times makes you feel pretty cool. I know, because I'm saying it out loud. So if you want to feel pretty cool today, you can go ahead and say yo with me out loud. Okay, either pretty cool or pretty weird, depending on who is sitting around you and who is listening. All right, so let's give this one a name. Okay, we'll call this product menu animation. All right, sounds good. Go ahead and hit enter. Go ahead and hit enter again. Again, we're just accepting the ID. All right, we're going to choose 7.1. And boom, nice and easy, just like we did with the other themelet. All right, so first we need to navigate to our new themelet. So CD, and then we call this product menu animation themelet. There you go. Hit enter. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do npm link, just like I did before. Okay. I was able to do that this time because I already put in my admin credentials. All right, and now just like we did before, we need to go ahead and add the CSS. Okay, and then we're just gonna plug it into our theme and deploy. All right, so open up your new themelet, okay, in your file manager or finder. All right, so I'm going to go back up here to my Liferay folder. I should now see my product menu animation themelet. Okay. Go ahead and open that up. Open source. Open the source folder. Open CSS and go ahead and open the custom SCSS file in our editor. Okay. Again, I'm not going to make you do any crazy work here, so go ahead and do LFR and go all the way to the bottom where you see the 12 optional product menu themelet. Okay, so we've added a good chunk of CSS here, and this will allow us to have a particular visual display when we open the menu. All right, so just go ahead and save this. And again, feel free to pause the video, take a look at the code, dig into this a little bit more. Okay. All right, and we're going to go ahead and just simply exit out of this and follow the rest of the steps. Okay, this is just simply to show you how easy it is to make these themelets and plug them on in. Okay, so go ahead and go back to the Fjord theme, okay, the Livingston Fjord theme. Go ahead and run Gulp Extend. All right, choose Themelet. And then that first option there, search globally installed NPM modules. And look, now we have the product menu animation themelet. Okay, so again, we want to hit space next to that one so that it's selected first. And then we want to go ahead and hit enter. All right, now we can go ahead and run Gulp Deploy. Isn't this fun? I know I can hear you from across the screen. You're having a blast. That's good. I'm glad. All right, so we have our theme deployed with their themelets, okay? And we can see my console here is loading the theme changes, okay? So once that is loaded, we can go and come back to our browser, refresh the page. All right, once it is loaded, we can go ahead and open up the menu, and now we have our menu animation. Okay, so like I said, this is kind of a cool animation. Again, it's optional. There's not really a major use case for this. It's kind of cool. It looks a little bit like if you have an iPhone or something and you double click on that home button and all of them sort of move around differently. Similar to that, okay? All right, and we have our menu, and then when we close it, it just goes back to normal, okay? The fun thing about this is I can actually do other things here as well while it's in this visual, okay? I can add things to the page, I can move things around, okay? So it's just sort of a fun thing that we can add here as just an example of building a quick themelet and plugging it on in. Just to recap for our themelets, okay? Basically, these are little NPM packages that are small reusable pieces of code. That could be CSS, that could be JavaScript, that could be images or FreeMarker, excuse me, okay? We just use the same generator to build themes to build our themelets, okay? So we can run yo Liferay themelet. All right, it's nice and easy. Once we've created it, we need to make it accessible to our theme. So that's what we ran that NPM link for. And then after that, we can extend our theme to install the themelet and deploy. It's a nice and easy process, nice and simple. We can generate these quickly. Like I said, we can also publish these to the NPM registry as well. You can actually see some of our Liferay engineers' themelets on the NPM registry as well. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to check that out. Go to the NPM registry, search for themelets or Liferay themelets, and you'll see a number of options from other developers as well as our own, okay? All right, so the last thing we're gonna do here for this particular chapter for theme development is we are gonna go ahead and talk about how we can include resources in our theme to deploy as well, okay? So stay tuned for the next video and we'll go ahead and wrap all of this up.